So this is the start of the construction of the frame for the high street at Indalo. I've made up a frame and I've supported it with a U-shape leg there, where I could actually get in that would not hinder the trains. But here in the middle section, where there was actually a lull, and if I take this out, you'll see, obviously I want to have the openness across here from the fueling station all the way across the platform, and also that I can have access into here if I need to remove a derailment or if I need to get in there. So what I've decided to do, I've set up the laser here, and this will show me, as it does, that there is obviously, even across that span, there's a belly here, so it's not level. So what I've had to do is support it with this strut. I will obviously cut the platform around that down here, but that now is, you see the actual laser line is actually on the very, very top. And if I move it slightly, you see it disappears. So that tells me that that perfect line is near enough level, or level as can be. So that's what I've got to do, is actually put this strut in here to support it, and that's going to give me complete openness then all the way through here. And because my first thought was to actually bring a long supporting beam out here and put it into there where there's space, because the challenge I actually have was there's not enough space in between. Let me just take that off and I'll show you what I mean. So there was no space to actually, if you can imagine this is vertical, in between the rails that would allow, with this thickness of wood anyway, allow the trains to pass. It was just too tight in every area I tried to look at. The only area that I could have put it was here. As you can see, there's two carriages there now, or train and a carriage. You could have actually put it there vertically. However, that would mean actually extending a beam. Let's put it there, give you a better idea what I was thinking about initially. That means I'd have to extend a beam across here. So it would have looked something like that coming out. Okay, maybe not look too bad, but I thought, well, okay, let's see if I can come up with another alternative. So that's when I thought, well, okay, I don't really want to do this, but that's the best option I have, is to actually put a pillar, if you like, a support. And you see these on many platforms anyway. So I'll dress this pillar here in like a concrete colour or even brick, but I'll think about what I'm going to do with that. Yeah, so you often see supports on platforms that support, especially when they're below ground anyway, that support the structure above. So that's the plan I'm going to do. As you see across there, that red laser line is true now all the way along. That's the exact height that it needs to be, and that means all this across here for the high street construction is actually level. Now, let me just stop this and I'll bring in a top just to show you what it's going to look like. So this is the top side of the high street. So you've got another one to cut and go in there. I thought, do I need to actually have this removable so I could take it off to get in? But no, I don't need to, because I can get in from this side. So to give the actual structure of this, some more rigidity and to make it stronger, I'm going to fix this board to this frame here. So the other piece will go in there. So this top will give the whole structure a lot of rigidity and support it a lot more. Obviously, it is a little bit of trial and error. I don't really know what this support here is going to be like, but there's not going to be really any weight on the top here. The only thing I'm going to have are going to be these low relief models like this that goes along the high street. I mean, that's obviously the garage, that's going to go up, probably up that end, but you get the idea. And then there's going to be two roads, one going down this way, a centre reservation, maybe like a grass reservation, and another road. So a return basically. So one road and two roads. I think these are a little bit wide. I might cut that back a centimetre or so on this, but there is, I've measured it all out, and there's enough for two roads and a small central reservation to actually go in here. And obviously along this side as well, there'd be a nice fence that goes all the way along there. But another step on that I'm probably going to show you now is that here it will probably come out a little bit more, because this is then going to go down to another level, which is going to be a town or village over here. But that's future plans. But here, this is going to be the high street. I really need to get this all together and the construction. But you can see the station, and I'm going to have lights in here as well that's going to shine down like you'd normally have on an underground station. And so that should look quite nice when it's all done. So lights really will probably go from the edge of this platform. I might have a light up there in the tunnel, but not that bit. So really just on the underneath there, I will actually have the lights in line here that go all the way across for the platform lights. And that should look quite nice. Obviously I can come up underneath the baseboard, come up through here. I can probably put along the back here some copper tape that I'm going to use in the low relief buildings. So you won't see it, nice and thin, and the connection will be underneath there as well. So that when I take it out, if I need to take this out, the whole, I'll take that off again. You see how far it goes down? The whole thing would be lifted out together. It will all come out together as one. So there you go. Even with the amount of weight on it, how much it does go down. You can see without this strut in here, let's see if I can put it back in again. It's there. Yeah, there we go. So that's the level again now. You can see how much, even when I put this is only about 5mm ply. So there's hardly no weight to it, but that span across there, I think it is about 2 meters. You're going to get a little bit of a belly in terms of if there's no support structure. That's really why this has to be there. At least it brings it up level, and we'll have a level high street. So that's where I've got to at the moment. I'm going to put cut the other board here because it is a little bit shorter, and I'm going to actually attach these, as I say, these boards to this frame, and that's going to give it the rigidity and the structure that it needs. And then if I ever need to, that is all one section that I can just lift off. Okay, once I've done that, I'll give you an update. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you like what you're seeing. Any comments, please put below. Thanks for watching.